What's up, people? Back with another reaction, and I'm so excited to do this. I'm going to do my first reaction that's not for electronic music, which is to say, as you can see behind me, I'm a huge punk rock guy. It was something that I got into before I discovered electronic music, before I discovered acid techno. I went up to an ice hockey camp when I was about 13, late 93, or no, it was early 94. And there was a kid there from Montreal, a goalie in the camp. Didn't speak a lick of English, but had the first Propagandhi album on cassette tape. And I heard that album, and it literally changed my life. I began following punk rock music and sort of, following reading and other things that I encountered through the albums and through the songs and the ideas in these songs and albums. And when I discovered acid techno, I've told this story before, so I'll try to keep it brief, but I sort of saw the same ethos, the same attitudes, the same DIY, create your own independent label and put out music that not only, challenges like traditional attitudes and beliefs, long-standing assumptions, but also challenges the standards and the norms and the sort of mainstream way of doing things within the music industry itself. So yeah, I'm a big fan of punk rock, and I will always be so, and I will always associate it or see many of the same virtues in it that I do in acid techno and the techno community. So with that said, I can't think of a better way to start off my non-electronic music reactions than listening to a track or a song by Dog Shite. And if you didn't know, this is an album which came out, I think it's 2020. I just got it recently, but I believe it's 2020. On this release, Dog Shite are Carmel on the vocals, Guy on the guitar, organ, and backing vocals, Chris on the drums and the backing vocals, and Sam on bass. Earlier versions of the band included Carl Hendricks from Audio Pancake on bass, I believe. So yeah, it's a tune, or it's an album that is different from the older lineup of the band, but again, that's something that happens over time. People have different obligations and responsibilities, and sometimes people come and go in bands, but the same ethos, the same attitude, and the same ideas continue to percolate. So that's what we're looking at here. I do want to give a shout out to Carmel on this picture. I just love this picture. It's so great. And Chris, drumming away in the back. I absolutely love it. You can see Geese just on the side here, and then Sam doesn't have a head, it's just a speaker. It's hilarious. But we're going to listen to a song they did called 79 in Our Time. The lyrics and music were by Chris. It's a song that basically talks about this DIY ethos, and it's a song that talks about recapturing the sort of the movement and the sort of impetus and the motivating culture that produced sort of that early punk hardcore attitude and ethos, beginning in the very late 70s and bleeding into the early 80s. And for me, when I discovered punk rock music, a lot of the music that I gravitated toward, Propagandhi was the first band, and they began in the early 90s. But again, a lot of their music pays direct homage to like Dead Kennedys and other bands from the early 80s. So that's where my brain quickly went. And I was, like, as you can see, I'm a massive Subhumans fan. Shout out to Dick Lucas and the Subhumans. I mean, honestly, their lyrics, their style, their just continued support for sort of the underground, do-it-yourself nature of punk rock. I'm amazingly appreciative and impressed. But again, so that's what this song is about. 79 in Our Time, Dog Shite, lyrics and music by Chris. Let's fucking get it. And also I should show the artwork on the inside here. This is absolutely great. I love all the pictures. A lot of pictures, even if you don't know all the people personally, there's so many stories that are implied by pictures, and it's just, every one of the ones here looks like an amazing show or a very interesting or funny moment. So here we go. This is 79 in Our Time. Yeah, B2. Okay. So here we go. fucking love this. It's incredible. So yeah, it's an amazing tune. I do want to like read back that verse that Carmel sung near the end, which it's like a really sort of powerful verse, and it sort of like speaks to the like real feminist ethos of a lot of the great like early punk rock and hardcore, which, you know, I feel like a lot of different genres, including punk rock, has had issues with misogyny and so on. And so again, to sort of like really put the focus on like the difference between like actual like hardcore punk rock, like representing the values, you know, of pluralism, feminism, and so on, versus like pop punk that became more about image and like putting yourself on a poster that then, you know, becomes viral and so on. I think it stands in stark contrast. But she said, women hands made women see feminism was meant to be. Now it's back to sex and sleaze in the fame and fortune factory. And again, how can you sing about nothing at all? Your image ready for the bedroom wall. It's pop music with nothing to stay. Stop your whining and go away. Nothing to say. I think I said stay. But yeah, bottom line, I love this idea that like, hey, you know, there's a lot of punk rock out there, and sure, some of it might be catchy and like whatever, but if it's just like singing about sort of trivialities and sort of things that are like essentially mundane and not really in that muckraking tradition, then ultimately, like, we're, you know, it's so far away from the vibe of 79. So I really do love this track. I think it's an absolutely great song, and it fits with, you know, a lot of the early hardcore, the lyrics and sort of the music that I became interested in when I first discovered punk rock. So again, let me know if you like this. Let me know if you're a fan of Dog Shite yourself or other punk bands. There's going to be plenty more of these type of reactions, certainly, because as you can see, punk rock represents one of my main interests, both back in the day and today, which again is the nature of that song, right? 79 in our time, not just back then, but right fucking now. That's what we're doing. So again, big ups to Chris for the lyrics and music there. Big ups to Carmel for her wonderful singing. Big ups to Geezer and Sam for bringing the guitars and the bass and making a full sound. So yeah, let me know if you want to hear more from this album. There's a few more on this. It's a 7-track album. Like I said, I think it's 2020. Shout out to Grow Your Own Records, which is what this is on, and I believe they have Chris's band, or, you know, a band that Chris is in, Hagar the Womb, old school band back to the 80s, I believe, and also have done shows more recently. I believe they have a release out on Grow Your Own Records, so shout out to sort of, again, independent anarchistic labels putting out excellent punk rock. So again, let me know if you enjoy that. Other than that, have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.